Well, if you guys have been living under a rock, 3 new fighters have been added to UFC 4, but this is not one of them. This is a fighter that I've showcased before, and his name is Israel Adesanya. He is set off to fight against Alex Pereira this Saturday at UFC 281. Hello, are you there? Okay, there he is. And we're just going to have a fun little showcase. We're going to discuss a couple of things. Who I think is going to win the fight, or rather the likelihood of certain outcomes happening, as we're also going to discuss the 3 new fighters that have been added to UFC 4. Nice taunt. And those 3 fighters are Alex Pereira himself. Of course, it would be kind of be a bit of a bad thing if EA were not to add somebody who could potentially become champion. Then the second fighter was Rafael Fiziev, or Rafael Fiziev. I don't think it's Rafael, it's Rafael Fiziev. And then Talia Santos, who really should have been added. EA almost had a huge blunder with Talia Santos because she was a split decision away from upsetting Valentina Shevchenko. And that would have been bad for her not to have been a champion in the recent edition of the game. It happened with TJ Dillashaw. Oh, TJ Dillashaw back in UFC 2, way before I even played the game. But I learned this from the other GCs and other gameplay developers that when TJ was fighting Renan Barão, he wasn't even in UFC 2, so they had to rush to add him in because, you know, they weren't sure if he was going to win or not. He was just a massive underdog, and yeah, that happened. But back on to focus, okay, double elbows. Back to focus on the co-main event of UFC 281, because they're not the main event. It's Glover Teixeira and Jiri Prochazka. Adesanya has improved tremendously since his fights against Alex Pereira. But I noticed with, if you watch those fights back, the first fight was a very closely contested fight. The decision could have gone either way, you know, depending on what you viewed. And kickboxing scoring is always a little bit egregious. And in the second fight, Adesanya had knocked down Alex Pereira. And, you know, in kickboxing, there's no standing. You know, you can't jump on the knockdowns. So that's something to kind of just keep in mind. Yes, Alex Pereira knocked him out. But, dude, Izzy was tuning him up. And there was much to say about, you know, Alex taking it on short notice and whatnot. I get that. But he definitely felt uber confident. The man has hellacious power in his left hook. And I did a lot of the move level work for Alex and Rafael Fiziev and Talia Santos. I did a lot of that. So I was pretty happy to see a lot of that went through. That rock there. There's a couple of bugs that I noticed with Pereira. Like, he has to go with Plata and a windshield choke. I don't know why the hell he has that shit, but really shouldn't, so that's definitely a bug. But I like the way it turned out. As for Adesanya, one thing that I noticed where Alex had a lot of success was punishing Adesanya as he went southpaw, because when Adesanya goes southpaw, his offensive output is a little bit higher. He's much more aggressive in southpaw, but it comes at a cost, at least according to the film, based on what I've seen. His defense is not there. Now, it has improved. I mean, we saw pretty much a masterclass against Jared Cannonier. Just kind of shut him down. And a lot of Adesanya's opponents, you know, a big thing is that they're the ones that are not taking certain risks. Adesanya, he's doing what he can. Like, he was throwing 4-piece head kick combinations at Cannonier. And Cannonier's corner is just making him fight safe. And it's very hard to get opponents out of there when your opponent doesn't really, what the hell is he doing? It doesn't really want to engage as much as you need them to in order to get that spectacular knockout. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this bout, because a lot of the points that have been made is that Alex is not scared of Adesanya, and we're going to be probably in tune for a very, very, very early finish or absolute war as this guy quits out. But yeah, I was talking about Adesanya's weakness in southpaw, his defensive, kind of like, he still has great defense, but it's definitely not as great as it usually is, like in Orthodox. He's a lot more precise in Orthodox defensively. If you watch the fight against Kelvin Gastelum, a lot of Kelvin's success came when Adesanya was also in southpaw, and the jab was landing very, very well for Kelvin Gastelum. Now, Alex is Orthodox, and one of the best weapons that an Orthodox person can have against a southpaw fighter, or when a fighter goes southpaw, is that left hook, because you can kind of just close the door on them because it's an open stance matchup. There's a lot that's talking about, oh yeah, if you're southpaw, You need to get outside foot positioning. But Alex Pereira, he knows this, right? So you don't, if you know your opponent's trying to be circling to the outside of your lead leg, that left hook is going to be there even if you step on the inside. So you're kind of using what your opponent, oh my god, what your opponents have been taught to do fundamentally against them. And this is common in a lot of combat sports. Like, for example, in wrestling, they tell you you should always fight for inside control. Not necessarily wrong, but with inside, if you're constantly pummeling for inside control, that can make you susceptible to drags. It can make you susceptible to, you know, some overtime shrugs. It can make you susceptible to a lot of things because you're banking your entire bit of offense to be off of this fundamental thing that you've been taught. And it happens a lot in MMA. All the time. They're like, circle to the outside, circle to the outside. And then the dude just gets blasted by a well-timed counter that their camp has likely drilled in the events that their opponent goes on the outside of the lead leg. So I'm interested to see how Adesanya and his team is going to be approaching this bout. Will they be looking to quote-unquote point fight Alex? I noticed that in the first bout, his cardio, that in that 3-round fight and in a lot of other 3-round fights, it's not there. He definitely starts to fade as the fight goes on. Now with power tends to be the last thing to go. We have multiple examples of that. Guys like Ngannou, guys like Derek Lewis. Just power is a tricky thing, especially when it comes to being in position. We got a lock there. He's going for that slip straight lock, so we're gonna target the body. Oh boy. Sorry, we're just gonna tour around for a bit. It's just so many. There's so many intangibles. I personally would love to see Adesanya win because I did say I've been seeing ESPN MMA. I've been seeing the UFC. A lot of the promo has been very pro Alex for whatever reason. You know, Adesanya has cleaned out the division almost. Well, the last guy he has to fight, what? Sean Strickland? Like, come on. Sean Strickland, that's a field day for him. Alright, let's see if we can get him out. Oh my god, he's like a roach. Alright. So like he's beaten Brunson, right? Brunson, I don't know if Brunson's still top 5. He's beaten Whitaker twice. He beat Jared Cannonier. He beat Marvin Vettori twice. He beat Paulo Costa. The Paulo Costa fight might have been like my favorite title defense that he has. Not because he got the finish, but it was how he got the finish. Because he really dissected Costa, chewed him apart with the leg kicks, timed it perfectly, and just had Costa overreacting. When Costa started to get frustrated, he tried to taunt, tried to bait Izzy. And for all the shenanigans that Izzy does on like Twitter and whatnot and talk, inside the cage is a very cerebral man. And then his fight IQ, for the most part, very solid in the striking realm. Alright, I'm going to try to get this guy out of here. So the grappling has definitely improved since the Jan Blachowicz fight. Although like that one weakness where, okay, that one weakness where he can get caught on takedowns in open stance, that tends to be like a very common thing. Like guys are better using the cage and then, oh, what the fuck? Oh, somebody clipped that. My god, that made no sense. Come on, EA. But as I was saying, you know, a lot of guys are better defending takedowns by the cage than they are in open space because the cage kind of helps assist things. You can use the cage to kind of tear your opponent's grips on takedowns. So that's why it's really important to have a cohesive game that works off of your opponent's reactions and over-under against the cage, double under, etc., etc. Can we get him out of here? Oh my god. Gee, yo! This is why we need elbows and ground and pound. Oh yeah, he's gonna get up. 2, 3. Oh! Mr. Maya that we fought before. Alright. This is definitely gonna be the last fight. I don't like it when there's a new season on ranked championships because the guys don't tend to be any good, but it does make it easier to showcase. So, well, this guy chose yeah, okay. This guy chose Maya. Alright, I'm gonna do something. Okay. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna show y'all an anti-clinch play style. Alright, because this guy's trying to clinch me, do all this fun stuff. I'm gonna trip him real quick. I was just trying to like fuck with his ego. So when you're going against somebody who's gonna try to clinch you, like the way this might, you have to be preemptively slipping a lot and be ready to target the body all the times. Get your pre-denials on point. And just, here's the thing. If you're doing preemptive counters, like preemptive slip counters to the body, even if you don't really slip anything, if your opponent's not doing anything and not firing back, sure you're at risk for more vulnerability, but at least you're landing something, you know? And the more that you slip, sidestep, lunge, or throw like angled lateral strikes, it's gonna help you get away from getting clinched up. You say, yeah, you see that? You can also fire off the elbow, especially if you're doing the blocking slips like I'm doing right now. And if I were to sign it, like, this guy would probably have a better time if he chose like Vittori or whatnot, but
under 3 minutes remain in round 1.
Oh, fake low for the, yeah, I know that entry. It'd be cool if okay, I'm not going to the guard, bro. It'd be cool if I wonder, people were saying some stupid thing like, if Adesanya shoots, yeah, I see now kind of from my way. Adesanya shoots, he's not the real winner of this bout. And I'm like, this is a mixed martial arts bout. Like, they both agreed to a mixed martial arts bout. It's one thing if the guy says before the fight, you're not gonna catch me shooting and whatnot, I am the superior striker, etc, etc. Oh my god, that should have killed him. Alright, yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. You're getting too many gimmies right now. No. Okay. Anyway, like, it's one thing if the guy's like, I'm so much of a better striker, you're not gonna see me shoot and whatnot. Kinda like when Conor was fighting Poirier in the trilogy, and Poirier started busting him up, and then Conor had to like shoot in. I mean, tactical perspective, that's the right thing to do. You're getting fucked up, you gotta clinch to slow down your opponent. But I did find that funny because Conor said what he said about Poirier striking. Ergo, I would love to see, Adesanya, if he's that much of a better grappler, show it. Go ahead, wear on him. Make Alex work, and then have you work on the feet. Oh, for fuck's sake, this shit.
30 seconds to go on the round.
Oh, fuck off.
And they separate. As he gets close, he's out of the kicking range.
Are you gonna do anything else? He's just gonna sidestep randomly. Okay.
And he caught the kick.
The knee. Oh yeah. Saved by the bell. Look how Adesanya stares at me. Saved by the bell, you old fuck. You know, one thing that you can do if you're in Adesanya's position, if you feel like you're the better grappler and you don't fear Perez BJJ, you'd have to. People have to understand, like, even when you don't have a quote unquote grappling background, you still have experience in the clinch if you're a kickboxer, framing off of people's heads, you know, getting inside head control, getting wrist control, doing all the fun stuff. And I'm pretty sure Pereira and Adesanya's shown it. Pereira as well has shown it in some UFC bouts. So even that isn't going to be like an easy task, I feel, for it. It's much harder for like tall guys to shoot around tall guys. I don't expect Adesanya to be hitting ankle picks anytime soon, but I can definitely see something like maybe an outside trip or something if he goes for it. But you gotta do that shit in camp. Oh, fuck. I whipped so hard. Alright, we're gonna clinch him back. Knee. Got him off guard. What the fuck? Bro, he legit sidestepped 3 of my punches. What's wrong? Bro! The hell, alright, that's gonna be the last one. But yeah, I feel that if Adesanya is controlling the tempo of the fight and he's making the engagements happen on his terms, disengaging on his terms, and making Pereira chase him, and just constantly blasting him with smaller shots and then wearing on the gas tank of Pereira while being very aware of how Pereira's going to try to circle him into the left hook, I think Adesanya can have another pretty solid defense. So that's going to be it. I've showcased Adesanya plenty of times on this channel. I compete this Sunday in wrestling, so I'll try to get out any footage I can on some of the new fighters I'm likely going to do Alex. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this from Romero 17. I appreciate all of you. I'm out of here.